How much sex is too much sex?
That's the number one question then?
Well, that's the first one the guys gave me. How much sex is too much sex?
Okay.
I think that's, is that even a question? Is there such a thing?
No, I'm a little stymied by that question. How much is too much? I mean,
Well, I know
if
a
it's
guy's
keeping
not,
you...
this is a question from a girl.
Okay.
Because there's not a husband out there going, I think we're having too much sex. What do we do, Pastor? Tell me.
What do we do with this?
So I'm guessing this is from a wife. How much sex is too much sex?
Okay, you're guessing this is from a wife saying, what can I go back and tell my husband that the people said online about it being too much?
Let me talk and you think.
Okay.
I'll fire, you reload.
I'm ready.
And we'll see where we go. Number one, and this is from Mom and Dad's content from the week conference on Saturday morning, the differences between men and women that affect the bedroom. It's an incredible session. Hopefully we'll get it out to the folks soon.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that men and women have different sex drives. Mom and Dad explain it like this. Men's sex drives
Or desire.
or desire is like a river. It's running fast and constant. And a woman's sexual desire or sex drive is like an ocean, deep, but it ebbs and flows. Neither are right or wrong. It just, in general, that's how it is. So start there. That they're gonna, you're wired differently than your husband, so it's gonna be different. Secondly, sex desire can change with different seasons of life. Kids, new job, illness, sickness, hormonal changes, stress, starting a new business. So I hear this question, and I don't think there's an objective right number.
Yeah.
Like 3.5 times a week. Or 5 times is way too much. 1 time a month, not enough. Like, no, there's no.
Yeah.
The right answer is how much is enough for you guys to be satisfied and happy. And when I say you guys, I mean both the husband and the wife. And so some seasons the wife might have more of a drive than the husband. Quite oftentimes the husband might have more. Well, that's okay, but the question isn't how little can we do and get away with it, but how satisfied can we make each other and mutually serving one another is. So I think the right answer is however much is enough to satisfy the natural needs of the spouse. And I say natural needs of the spouse because there can be some, and again, this is where we get into the details we don't know, but there can be some situations we've worked with where a husband is into pornography and he's bringing then these abhorrently evil and unnatural desires into the marriage bed and bringing these appetites into the marriage room and like, let's try this, do that. And all of a sudden he's just like in this like hypersexual overdrive because of what he's watching. Yeah. And well, that's evil. That's horrific. And a wife should not feel trapped and obligated to be meeting every abhorrently evil, selfish, wicked whim of a husband who's saturating his mind in wickedness and then bringing those expectations to the marriage bed and putting them on the wife.
Correct.
That's horrible. And so again, I'm assuming here two Jesus-loving people who are married, who love one another, and are just asking in this question, like how much is too much?
Right.
There can't be too much because we define marriage as a sexual relationship protected by covenant. So at the heart of what makes the marriage relationship unique is this ability to connect sexually as God intended, not just for procreation, but for pleasure and for comfort and for knowledge and so on and so forth. So I think the answer is however much is enough to please both the husband and the wife. And then I'll say this as well, and then if you got something you want to add, you can throw in here. Okay. Again, we're on the question of how much sex is too much sex. The principle we're working with is 1 Corinthians 7, that your body is not your own. Right. And that the husband has authority over the wife's body. And second half of the verse, read it, guys, the wife has authority over the man's body. And when we read that verse, that's not saying, AKA, i.e., ergo, you have to do what I want all the time. Right. It's authority for the sake of servanthood. And so when you think about, Jesus, he said those who serve the most have the most authority. And of course, Jesus has the most authority because nobody served as much as Jesus. Right. And so when he says that you have authority over the other's body, he's saying you are commissioned to serve them in this area sexually. And so a husband should be looking at his wife saying, how can I serve her needs vice versa. The wife's, how can I serve my husband's needs? And I guarantee you, men, the more you serve her needs, the more it will be reciprocated. And then you have two people trying to outserve each other.
That's right.
In a sexual relationship, in the covenant of marriage, and it's just a beautiful thing. And so, like we say often, you have to come to the sexual relationship in the posture of a servant, not a consumer.
Right.
And so a taker and a taker results in a toxic relationship.
Yes.
A taker and a giver results in an abusive relationship. A giver and a giver results in a thriving relationship. And so, how much sex is too much sex? That's not even a thing. You can't have too much of a good thing.
Right.
And so,
unless you're like neglecting your jobs and you're,
well, then you just deal with it. You
might say that.
Whatever it takes. Anything else to throw in there?
No, I totally agree with all of that. I think it was really good. And we actually touched on some of those things at the conference. And Mom talked about, or I guess us girls, when the three of us talked together, we talked about women just being attentive to not be meeting your husband's minimum needs, but his maximum needs, and not neglecting that, and not being, what's the word when you're like, I'm forgetting the word. Anyway.
When you're what?
Well, you're just like frustrated with not being frustrated with your husband's maximum needs, but being attentive to them. Resenting them. Not resenting those needs, but looking at them and being like, I'm the one that gets to meet this. This is amazing.
Yes.
So privilege and joy to serve your husband in that way.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, you can click here to listen to the full podcast, or click in the link below and go wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. Hopefully you can find us. And if you'd like some more free resources, you can head to StrongerManNation.com.